heat waves in India. Heat waves in India, and you should know about the topic is related to geography. Okay, topic is related to basically geography in UPSC General Studies Paper 1, World Geography, Indian Geography. Okay, and we have discussed about why this topic is in news. That means what is the context of this news of this topic. So first of all, friends, there were a news, okay, related to new research. So new research has found that the region of central, northwest, and south central India are the new hot spot, okay, new hot spots of intense heat waves in the country, okay, in the last 50 years. So if you know about how to make the Indian map, okay, if you know, so please keep in the mind, if you know about, okay, you can say ki this area, that means ki if we'll discuss about the west, and you know na ki uh, before this, okay, there is north area, okay, that means in northern state, Delhi, Punjab, okay, Jammu Kashmir. So you will have to keep in the mind keep that in first of all central India, okay, that means ki this area MP, that means ki Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, basically also few parts of Orissa, then Jharkhand. That means if we talk about the central India, okay, and then northwest India, that means ki northwest, these area, okay, these area, basically Gujarat, okay, then also you can say a few areas in Rajasthan, okay, then after that Madhya Pradesh. So if you discuss about that ki heat wave, that means ki heat waves pattern is changing, okay, and basically friends there is a research, and according to research, central region, northwest region, and south central region of India, okay, are the new hot spot of intense heat waves in the country or in the last 50 years. And friends, report also found that there had been an increase in severe, okay, heat waves in the country in recent years. Okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind. We'll discuss the, you can say, key category of heat waves. So anyone know about heat waves? What is the meaning of heat waves? If you know, please raise your hand. I will ask you. Okay. If you know, don't state. Okay. So I don't know. Okay. So if you anything know about heat waves, okay, please raise your hand and please try to participate, because civil service is all about participation. Okay. If you'll crack the examination and you'll join, okay, the service, and after that you'll have to participate in meeting. You'll have to give your voice. Okay. You'll have to give your, you can say, views. You'll have to take your decision. You'll have to take quick decision. So basically, okay, all you try, okay, always you can say ki you should try to participate. You should try to, you can say, give points, give idea. So I'm asking you, what is the meaning of heat waves? Please tell me. Okay, raise your hand, and after that I will go one by one. So yes, Snigdha, please tell me what is the meaning of heat waves? I'm not I'm not getting your voice clearly. Okay, please come in network area, and after that, please speak. Sorry, Snigdha. No problem. Okay, I'm going to ask Sabyasachi. Yeah, please tell me what is the meaning of heat waves?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Very good evening.
Hello. Yeah. So
Yeah,
a
yeah,
heat
very good
wave
evening.
is the period of excessive hot weather, uh, which is uh, uh, which is accompanied by high humidity. Actually, in oceanic climatic countries like India, which is covered, uh, which is mostly covered by oceans. These kind of countries have heat waves, or usually get
Yes.
heat
Okay.
waves
Very good.
in the summer.
Okay. Very good. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Very good, Sabyasachi. So now I'm going to tell you about the heat waves. I told you what is the context. Context is there is a new okay research, and let's discuss about the, you can say, meaning of heat wave. So a heat wave. What is a heat wave? Heat wave is a period, okay, of unusually hot weather. You'll have to keep in the mind. For example, okay, you can say the average temperature in Gujarat. Okay, for example, average temperature in Gujarat in summer was 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, what was 30 degrees Celsius? But in this year, average temperature, okay, is 31 degrees Celsius. So basically, we can say the heat waves is increasing in Gujarat because average temperature is increasing. So a heat wave is a period of unusually hot weather that typically last 2 or more days. Okay, more days means also a week or month. And to be considered a heat wave, the temperature have to be outside the historical average for a given area. Okay, for a given area. So I told you, okay, with the example. So basically, the average temperature of Gujarat, okay, was 30 degrees Celsius, but this year the average temperature is 31 degrees Celsius. So basically, this is the heat waves. That means the heat waves is increasing in Gujarat. So according to a new report, okay, in you can say Central India, North West India, and South Central India, heat waves is increasing. So we can say the Central, Northwest, South Central India are the new hot spot of intense heat wave. Okay, or in the last 50 years. So according to me, I hope, okay, you have clear. Okay, so do you have any doubt related to heat waves? What is the meaning of heat wave? I told you. Okay, if you have any doubt, please ask, raise your hand. Okay, if you do not have any doubt, please comment N. Okay, if you have doubt, raise your hand. If you don't have doubt, please comment N. Okay, friends, try to participate. How would I know that you have doubts related to heat waves, concept of heat waves? Okay, so Anya, I told the heat waves is a period of unusual hot weather that typically lasts 2 or more days. Also, we can say ki, okay, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, and to be considered a heat wave, the temperature have to be outside the historical averages for a given area. That means the temperature will be high, okay, according to last, you can say the average temperature. Okay, so I told what is the meaning of heat waves. So now we should also discuss about the criteria. Okay, criteria for declaring heat waves. What is the criteria? So basically, friends, if we'll discuss about the criteria for declaring heat waves, okay, just a minute, yeah. If we will discuss about the criteria for declaring heat waves, basically it is occurring mainly during March to June. That means the summer season. During March to June, you'll have to keep in the mind during March to June. Okay, and also you'll have to know about the key heat waves. Okay, also you can say key heat waves is considered if the maximum temperature, okay, of a station reaches at least 40 degrees Celsius or more for plains and at least 30 degrees Celsius for hilly region. Basically, if there is okay, average temperature 40 degrees Celsius, okay, more than 40 degrees Celsius, so you can say there is heat waves, okay, in plain area. If we talk about the hilly area, if there is temperature, average temperature is more than 30 degrees Celsius, that means in North East India, basically in hilly India, okay, there is heat waves. So you will have to keep in the mind that heat waves is considered if the maximum temperature of a station reaches at least 40 degrees Celsius or more for plains and at least 30 degrees Celsius or more for hilly regions. Okay. So now let's discuss about the period of heat wave in India. Period of heat wave of India. So I told you it is occurring mainly during March to June and in some rare cases even in July. Okay, so basically March to July. Okay, March to July, March to July, we have to keep in the mind. Okay, and peak month of the heat wave over India is March. So what is the peak month? You will have to keep in the mind May. Okay, basically you can say ki before May there is 2 months, March, April, and after May there is June and July. Okay, so peak month is May. Peak month of heat wave is May. You will have to keep in the mind. Okay. Now let's discuss the heat wave. Okay, prone states of India. Okay, so which state? So if you talk about states, so basically, friends, heat waves generally occur over plains of northwest India. Okay, then central, then east and north peninsular India, and during March to June, or in rare case March to July. And the state is also, you can say, the state are Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, few parts of Maharashtra and Karnataka. And also, you can say, according to latest report, in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. And sometimes also occurs over Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Okay, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So I told you the states related to heat waves in India. And what is the favorable condition for heat waves? We should discuss about the favorable condition. Okay, what is the causes of heat waves? So we can say the causes of heat waves or favorable condition. Okay, so first is transportation. You'll have to keep in the mind transportation. Okay, so transportation or prevalence of hot dry air over a region. That means ki also transportation is the region, and also hot dry winds. Okay, what? Hot dry winds over a region. Then absence of moisture in the upper atmosphere. Okay, that means ki less moisture, less moisture in atmosphere, upper atmosphere. And then the sky should be practically cloudless. That means ki cloudless. Okay, you'll have to keep in the mind. Okay, so I told you ki heat waves in India, what is the, you can say, favorable condition? The sky should be practically cloudless and large amplitude anticyclone flow over the area. That means ki there will be, you can say, ki more anticyclones. Okay, anticyclone. If there will be news related to cyclone, so in upcoming classes I will discuss about the cyclone, type of cyclone, what is the meaning of anticyclone, which is the most important cyclone. Okay, we'll discuss. So basically, friends, I told you the favorable condition for heat waves. You will have to keep in the mind transportation, prevalence of hot dry, then less moisture, then cloudless. That means the sky will be clear. Okay, blue sky. Then large amplitude anticyclone. That means the anticyclone incident will increase. So basically, these are the condition of favorable condition for heat wave. Favorable condition for heat wave. Okay. Now, friends, there is also a term heat index. Heat index was in use. So I'm going to tell you the meaning of heat index. So basically, the heat index is the combination of air temperature. Okay, combination of air temperature. You'll have to keep in the mind. Okay, air temperature and relative humidity and relative humidity. Please go through the topics related to humidity. Okay, dry wind. You should know about this. Okay, you can say the term. Basically, UPSC or state service may ask a question related to this topic. So, friends, I told you the heat index is the combination of air temperature and relative humidity, and it measures how it really feels when relative humidity is factored in with the you can say actual air temperature, with the actual air temperature. Now we should discuss about the health impacts of heat waves. So anyone can tell me what will be the impacts on health of heat waves? Anyone? If you want to tell me, please raise your hand. I will ask you. Okay, no one. No problem. So I'm going to tell you the health impacts of heat wave. So the health impacts of heat waves typically involve dehydration. Okay, you'll have to keep in the mind. Dehydration. Okay, so there will be dehydration. Okay, so please keep in the mind there will be dehydration. Yes, sunstroke, very good. Okay, sunstroke also. So basically, I told you dehydration, then heat cramps. Please keep in the mind heat cramps. Okay, do you know heat cramps? Basically, if you know about cricket, okay, in cricket, you can say ki, few players and also many players, okay, had also you can say ki heat cramps, okay, due to heat waves or due to high temperature, due to high temperature. And friends, I told you about the heat waves, you can say heat cramps, then heat exhaustion or sun stroke, heat stroke. Okay, so basically these are the few health impacts of heat waves. And friends, impact based heat waves warning issued by Indian Meteorological Department. Indian Meteorological Department. So now I'm going to tell you about the, you can say, okay, classification of heat waves. Okay, classification of heat waves. So please, okay, try to understand. Please be focused, and you can see here. Key, if you'll talk about, okay, you can say key color codes. So and also you can see here key precaution during heat waves. Okay, so if there is a green, that means ki if there is a, okay, you can say ki green color, that means ki no action, okay, need to take. And if we'll talk about the alert, there will be normal day, no alert. Okay. If we'll talk about the warning, that means the maximum temperature are near normal. For example, you can say ki there is average temperature 30 degree. Now temperature 29.6, 29.7 or 29 degrees Celsius. Okay. So there will be warning related to the maximum temperature are near normal. And what will be the impact in okay, green color? Impact will be comfortable temperature, no cautionary action required. Okay, there will be no suggestion. And if you talk about the yellow alert, okay, yellow alert means ki, do you know about now the traffic system? Okay, if you know about the traffic system, okay, that means ki red, then there will be, you can say ki green color, and there will be yellow color. Green color you can go, okay. Yellow color means please be focused, and red color stop. Okay, so you can see here in green color there will be no action. In yellow color you will have to be updated, and there will be heat alert. Okay, and what will be the warning? Warning will be heat waves condition at isolated pockets persist for 2 days. Please keep in the mind. Okay, persist for 2 days. Okay, this is very, very important. Now, let's discuss about the impact, okay, during yellow color or yellow alert. So if you talk about the impact, there will be, okay, moderate temperature, heat tolerable for masses. Okay, there will be moderate health concern for infants and elderly with chronic disease. Okay, for example, you can say fever. Okay, then there will be also cold. Okay, and what will be the suggestion? That means what will be the action? So action will be avoid heat exposure. Please, okay, do not go outside during you can say afternoon period. Then wear lightweight, okay, cloth, then light colored and loose cotton cloth. Then cover head by umbrella, hat, or also you can say by using okay, towel. Okay, please keep in the mind. Then there is next category is orange alert. Okay, orange alert means be prepared, and that means there will be severe heat alert. Severe heat alert means you can say more than 2 days. Okay, and also you can say ki within 4+ days. Okay, and what will be the impact? High impact. Okay, high impact means you can say ki there will be health condition will be destroyed. Then there will, you can say ki issues related to health concern will rise. Okay, there will be impact on infant and elderly, that is the senior citizen. And what should be the action or suggest you can say suggested action? Avoid heat exposure, drink sufficient water, Okay, please also you can say if not thirsty, you should drink water. Use ORS, okay, then homemade drinks like you can say lassi, okay, then rice water, lemon water, buttermilk, okay, anything, okay, which will be helpful for remain hydrated. And the last category is red alert. Red alert means now you should take action. And what will be the alert? That means extreme alert, more than 1 week, more than 15 days, more than you can say 1 month. Okay. And what will be the impact? Impact will be very high on likelihood of developing heat illness and heat strokes in all ages, not only in infant or you can say senior citizen. And what will be the suggested action? Extreme care for vulnerable people. Okay. So basically, you can say there's 4 category of heat waves, or also you can say 4 types of alert of heat waves. So we have discussed green, yellow, orange, then red. Green means no action, yellow be updated, orange be prepared. Okay, that means please take care about your resources. Please collect your resources. Okay, so please keep in the mind. And the last is red alert, and the last is red alert. Okay, so we have discussed about the category, we have discussed about the alert. Now let's discuss about the recent research. That means what is the key observation in the recent research. So if you talk about the key observation in the recent research, so first first of all, there is you can say research on change in spatial and temporal trends. That means the trend is increasing in various states. Okay, for example, North India is used to heat waves, but South India, Northeast India, hilly area is not used to heat waves. So basically, according to recent research, the you can say heat waves area is increasing. Heat waves area is increasing. Okay, and friends, also you can say the severe heat waves over the past 7 decades in different meteorological subdivision of India. Okay, and the second thing is shift in the area, or also you can say shift in the trend of heat waves. Okay, shift in the trend of heat waves, or also you can say temporal trend of heat waves. And the study told a shift in the you can say trend of heat waves events more from the eastern region of Gangetic West Bengal and Bihar to northwestern, then central and further to the south central region of India and few states of also South India. Then there is expansion, expansion, and also you can say surge in you can say severe heat waves, severe heat waves. And the research absorbed an alarming southward expansion and surge in severe heat waves events in last few decades. That may put a greater population at additional risk of heat stress in a country, and already characterized by low diurnal temperature range, or the difference between so what is the meaning of diurnal temperature range? So meaning is diurnal temperature range, or also you can say DTR. It is the difference between the maximum and minimum temperature within 1 day and high humidity. And also report talks about the correlated with mortality in Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. So basically, friends, the heat waves or severe heat waves events were found to be positively correlated with mortality in Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. And also, friends, you can say reports talks about the, and also you can say reports highlighted that human health is highly susceptible to severe heat waves disaster. Severe heat waves disaster. So I have discussed important points related to heat waves and the reports. Now I'm going to tell you about the few additional information. Please keep in the mind. Between 2000 and 2016, the number of people exposed to heat waves and increased by around 125 million. 125 million. Please keep in the mind. And in 2015, alone 175 million additional people were exposed to heat waves compared to average year. That means in 2015, only in 2015, 175 million people suffered by heat waves. Okay, and friends, single event can last weeks occur consecutively and result in significant excess mortality. In 2003, okay, 70,000 people, okay, in Europe died as a result of the June-August, okay, event, you can see. In 2010, 56,000 excess deaths occurred during a 44-day heat federation. And there is also news about heat waves in Canada, okay, and also in few areas of America. So please keep in the mind. Now I'm going to tell you about the what should be the way of forward related to heat waves. What should government okay do? So basically, friends, heat waves emerge as a deadly health hazard and claiming thousands of lives across the globe in recent decades. And with the episode strengthening in frequency, intensity, duration in past half century in India as well other area, and also you can say heat waves has caused severe impacts on health, agriculture, economy, and infrastructure. And with an ever increasing, okay, extreme temperature, they sold a had, okay, resilient future is the need of the hour. Dense population with an intensive outdoor work cultures call for an equitable heat resilient mitigation and adaptation. New, okay, there should be new strategy how to tackle heat waves. Okay, there should be also new, okay, you can say the technology to tackle for the heat waves. And friends, according to me, to mitigate future disasters, implication of exacerbated heat extremes and frame educate adaptation measures in the wake of possible emergence of new hotspot, reliable future, okay, projection are needed. And also people should aware, okay, about the heat waves. People should take seriously of the alert, and also you can say local administration has to you can say take a quick decision to tackle with the heat waves. So we have discussed about the heat waves. Do you have any doubt or is it clear? Please tell me. Sir, what did you mean by MN? Million, 175 million. Okay. So do you have any doubt? Anyone? Is it clear? If is it clear, please comment yes. Or if you have doubt, please raise your hand. Okay. So now I'm going to discuss about the next topic, and the next topic is related to society and also related to polity and governance. And the topic is, friend, you can see here, key empowering mission portion 2.0, portion 2.0. Okay. So I told you ki the topic is related to society and also polity and governance. And if you'll talk about the context, so recently the Department of Women and Child Development launched a portion and urged all aspirational districts to establish Poshan Vatika, that means ki healthy food garden during food month, that means ki Poshan Ma started from 1st September, started from 1st September. So I told you about the context. Now let's discuss about the background of this topic. What is the background? Friends, for effective implementation of various schemes and programs of the Ministry of Women and Child Development, all major schemes of the ministry have been classified under three umbrella scheme. Under three umbrella scheme. Okay, so please keep in the mind under three umbrella scheme. So what is the three umbrella scheme? So you'll have to keep in the mind mission. Okay, portion 2.0. First is mission. Okay, portion 2.0. Then mission. Okay, but Sale, you'll have to keep in the mind mission. What Sale? Okay, mission what Sale. And then friends, there is mission Shakti. Second, third is mission Shakti. Mission Shakti. Okay, third is Mission Shakti. And friends, a month-long celebration of Poshan Abhiyan means what is the means of Poshan Abhiyan? You have to discuss. That means also you can say a month-long celebration of Poshan Abhiyan mission places a special attention on severe, acute, malnourished children. That means SAM children. Okay, focus on SAM children. So SAM children means severe, okay, acute, malnourished children. And friends, in 2008, when well-respected international economics, including many Nobel laureates, were asked by the Copenhagen Center to formulate an agreement on very important development plan in which policymakers and disaster risk workers should invest fighting malnourished, or also you can say fighting malnutrition emerged as the most important. And friends, it has taken time, for this to sink into our country. For generation, malnutrition remain a full-fledged, but less visible issue in India and did not receive the attention it deserved. Okay, please keep in the mind. So we should discuss about the Poshan Abhiyan. What is Poshan Abhiyan? Okay, we should discuss about the Poshan Abhiyan. Basically, friends, Poshan stands for Prime Minister Holistic Nutrition Scheme. Prime Minister Holistic Nutrition Scheme. Okay, Prime Minister Holistic, HOLISTIC, Holistic Nutrition Scheme. Okay, nutrition scheme. So I told you कि Poshan means Prime Minister Holistic Nutrition Scheme, and Poshan Abhiyan was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Okay, launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 8 March 2018 in Rajasthan. Okay, in Rajasthan. And also you can say that Poshan Abhiyan is India's leading program to improve the effects of healthy eating on children, pregnant women, and breastfeeding mother. And friends, Poshan Abhiyan, okay, also please keep in the mind that Poshan Abhiyan aims to make India a world without malnutrition by 2022. And Poshan Abhiyan aims to reduce stumbling in children from 38.4% to 25% by 2022. And friends, under Poshan Abhiyan, the first Poshan Month was celebrated in September 2018 with a strong focus on social behavioral change and communication. That means the SBCC. And friends, the themes, okay, what is the themes? Themes included eating a healthy diet and strengthening the diet, hygiene, appropriate marriages, maternal care, proper breastfeeding, anemia, and education for children. So these are the facts related to Poshan Abhiyan. I told you what is Poshan Abhiyan. So friends, if you are talking about the Poshan Abhiyan, we should also talk about the malnutrition. That means key facts related to malnutrition. And we can say key malnutrition in India. Let's discuss about the facts related to malnutrition in India. Friends, about 68% of deaths, in children under the age of 5 in India could be attributed to malnutrition in children and mothers, according to Lancet report of 2019. And this basically means that dealing with total malnutrition instead of dealing with the one disease at a time will keep our children more secure and make their future brighter. Okay. And according to Global Nutrition Report 2020, India is among the 88 countries that are likely to lose the standards of healthy eating in the world by 2025. And more than half of our children, friends, please keep in the mind, more than half of our children under the age of 5 have been found to be frustrated, that means ki too short for their age, or wasted, that means ki too young for their age, or both. And according to comprehensive national nutrition study, which was released in 2019. And friends, FAO, that means ki the Food and Agriculture Organization, estimates, okay, that 94.4 million people in India, you'll have to keep in the mind 194.4 million people in India. That means 14.5% of the total population are malnourished. So basically, we can say that lump sum 15% of the population are malnourished in India. Okay, and according to latest, you can say data, latest figures, even in the best of circumstances and accounting for change in the provision of essential health and malnutrition service as a result of COVID-19, India could have an additional 60,000 deaths, approximately you can say 3 lakh. Okay, in the worst case, 3 lakh. You will have to keep in the mind in the worst case. Okay, you can say 3 lakh in the worst case in the next 6 months. So basically, we can say due to COVID-19, okay, due to COVID-19, malnutrition percentage was increased in India, and also you can say is increasing in India. Okay, you basically you will okay find various examples related to COVID-19. Okay, family which is suffered by COVID-19. Basically, in a family, in a middle class family, okay, there's no guardian, there is no, you can say, member who can earn. Okay, so you can understand, okay, the situation of, you can say, our people, situation of our society. So basically, due to COVID-19, okay, poverty is also increasing in India. Unemployment is also increasing. Okay, that means the malnourishment is also increasing, because these topics are related, and also you can say interdependent. So you'll have to keep in the mind. And friends, the result were alarming. What it mean for the future of our children, but it was very much in line with other independent estimates of the prevalence of malnutrition. And malnutrition adversely affects a child physical and mental development, and is one of the most important risk factors of other disease. That means malnutrition affects okay children physically or mentally or both, and also chances of new you can say key diseases is increasing. A report also showed that malnourished children are less likely to go to school and more likely to drop out. And this means that half of our children fall behind in, you can say, silence, and no development can have real meaning, okay, without ensuring that our children and mothers are nourished and healthy. Okay. So please keep in the mind, this is very, very important fact. Now, friends, let's discuss how, is the Poshan Abhiyan affected by the COVID-19. We should know how Poshan Abhiyan of Indian government affected by or due to the COVID-19. So basically, friends, COVID-related shocks could lead to another 9 million children under the age of 5 suffering from dementia, two-thirds of which will be in South Asia, a study predicted in Nature. Okay, and therefore it is important that we not only renew but also redouble our efforts to go to Poshan 2.0 with the full vigor, while practicing distance walking, wearing a mask, and hygiene. There was a news related to spread of COVID-19 and the cases related to, you can say, key COVID-19 case, related to railway station in Hatia, Jharkhand. There were 40, you can say passengers, which are also, you can say, they were suffering or they are suffering with COVID-19. Okay. So you'll have to keep in the mind, it is important that we not okay, only renew, but also redouble our efforts to go to Poshan 2.0, okay, with full, you can say, vigor and with COVID-19 protocols. And under Poshan 2.0, a number of, okay, related schemes have been together. Put together. Why? To facilitate collaboration, and key malnutrition sites are available, and 112 aspiring district will be considered, okay, will be considered. So basically, you will have to keep in the mind, in India there is 112 aspirational district. Basically, aspirational district is you can say less developed, okay, district. That means the backward district, okay. And in the aspirational district, there's a condition is not good condition related to malnutrition, related to development, related to per capita income, okay, related to getting the facility, related to education, related to health, okay. So you'll have to keep in the mind. And friends, under the current Poshan Ma, that is the month, efforts to identify children suffering from severe malnutrition have been intensified, and Anganwadi staff, okay, have been asked to refer those, okay, with health problems to health facilities, and you'll have to keep in the mind with the government, okay. And for those who are experiencing severe malnutrition without medical problems, the principle of public administration, okay, should be strengthened, and so that they do not continue to create medical problems during epidemics during COVID-19. And friends, the new COVID okay, waves cannot be released soon, and we have to adjust, okay, our nutrition intervention for such recurring shocks. And friends, the pressure, okay, the pressure put on by this whole nutrition organization was disrupted when the closure, okay, of COVID led to the closure of schools, Anganwadi center, food rehabilitation center, okay. These all were closed during COVID-19, okay. And there were online education, and you can say the market of online education is increasing day by day, okay, day by day. And there is also new reports or new study on you can say online education. Please go through it, okay, and please read about new, okay, you can say key findings on online education. And friends, if okay, discuss about how is the Poshan scheme affected by COVID-19, and we'll discuss about in addition, the leading workers had to participate in COVID-related activities that were more important than their daily activities, which included identifying, targeting, and monitoring children, and okay, suffering from severe malnutrition and moderate malnutrition, among other nutritional activities. And the countries have to try to address their potential by importing hot meals on dry land, okay, or by transfer. So we have discussed how, okay, Poshan Abhiyan was affected due to COVID-19. So now let's okay, talk about the steps, okay, taken by Indian government related to, you can say, reduce India's malnutrition by 2020-22. So let's discuss the steps, okay. And friends, so Poshan Abhiyan, I told you, okay, Poshan Abhiyan, who promised to make India free from malnutrition by 2022, reintroduce nutrition as a key, okay, to development and emphasize its multi-sectoral nature, And friends, first movement, okay, is structured in such a way that in addition to direct intervention, nutrition can be improved in many ways, including better, okay, sanitation for intestinal infection as well, okay. Please keep in the mind. Then it allows people to absorb many nutrients, increasing food diversity, then vaccination of children against diseases, then advising more women to breastfeed for longer periods, and this improves the immune systems. And friends, second, by involving many departments, okay, also you can say by involving many departments and department outside of these dignitaries, as well as bringing in other stakeholders, including communities, Poshan Abhiyan helped create a comprehensive food response unprecedented in the country's history. Okay, please keep in the mind. And also, friends, given that malnutrition, okay, that occurred during the first 1,000 days of life is irreversible, and it has highlighted a strong focus on food-related, okay, intervention to improve maternal and child health in that window since birth. And the nutritionist, okay, the nutritionist also evaluated and monitor the indicator in real time of the program using technology, and in order to make timely adjustment to listen in a variety of situations. And however, friends, what stands, okay, out as the best achievement of Poshan Abhiyan is the way senior political leaders have committed, okay, themselves to eradicating malnutrition and making it a people's organization, celebrating Poshan Ma in September and Poshan Pakwara in March, and few other activities. That means कि senior leader, okay, can play a major role to eradicate malnutrition by 2022. And also people should, okay, people should also take you can say ki necessary step. People should participate, people should know about the malnutrition, okay, and that means ki there should also be a people awareness campaign, so you'll have to keep in the mind. So I told you the steps taken by the Indian government, Poshan Abhiyan 2.0, and the facts. Now let's discuss about the conclusion portion of this topic. So according to me, friends, a safe and bright future, okay, of our children will be a safe and bright future in the world, and that is the message we want every fellow citizen to put in. Okay, Sahi Poshan, Desh Roshan. Sahi Poshan, Desh Roshan. And other activities such as making new mothers breastfeed longer, are controlling diarrhea in children, okay, distributing deworming pills and iron and folic acid with determination, while convincing target groups to take it seriously, and will go a long way in improving the nutrition of babies and young mothers, and also breastfeeding mothers. And it is important to read and study in provinces such as Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and Rajasthan, which have raised the standard of care management in recent times, and so that good practices are accepted and incorporated. Okay, so we have discussed about the Poshan, okay, Abhiyan, and also you can say empowering mission Poshan 2.0. Do you have any doubt or is it clear? Please tell me, and after that I will cover a new topic. Please. Is it clear or any doubt? If you have any doubt, okay, feel free to ask. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah, go ahead. Please tell me.
Go ahead. Please tell me.
Sir, why Poshan Abhijan introduced?
Okay, which vision? Poshan Abhiyan 2.0.
Poshan Abhiyan 2.0.
Yes, sir. Sir, objective of Poshan Abhijan. Main objective of Poshan Abhijan.
Okay, main objective is
Okay.
malnutrition by 2022.
Malnutrition by 2022.
सर इको हो रहा है
Exactly
सर
meaning of malnutrition.
Okay, Swata. Please, what is the objective meaning?
What is the objective? Turn off your mic.
Okay. Please, friend, please mute yourself. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm going to tell you what is the exact objective of Poshan Abhiyan and Poshan 2.0. Okay. So exact aim is eradicating malnutrition in India.
Eradicating malnutrition in India.
And friends, if you talk about, okay, what is the meaning of malnutrition? Okay, so basically malnutrition is a condition, okay, and condition resulting from eating a diet, okay, resulting from eating a diet, and that contains either insufficient or too much of nutrients, and as a result of which health problems you can say occurs. And the nutrients involved are calories, carbohydrates, vitamins, proteins, or minerals. And undernutrition during pregnancy or before 2 years of age may cause permanent mental and physical development problem. So I told you, okay, you can say malnutrition till 1000 days, okay, from the birth is irreversible. So basically, malnutrition, okay, is a condition resulting from eating diet. If you can say if there is a less, okay, or insufficient, okay, that means nutrition, it is also malnutrition. If there is excess nutrition, it is also malnutrition. So basically, there should be a balanced diet. Okay, in balanced diet, if you okay, if you will talk about the balanced diet, so basically balanced diet means okay, sufficient protein, sufficient calories, sufficient carbohydrates, sufficient minerals, okay, should be. So you'll have to keep in the mind. So now I hope, okay, no one should be doubt. If you have doubt, feel free to okay, raise your hand. Okay, so now I'm going to okay, cover the new topic, and the new topic is related to data revolution in Indian agriculture. Okay, and this topic is also important. Why this topic is important? Basically, also you can say that this topic is related to science, or also usage of science in agriculture. Usage of science in agriculture. Okay, so basically, this topic is related to what? This topic is related to geography, and this topic is also related to, you can say, ethics. Okay, because if you will read about gene, okay, modification or gene editing, that means the gene modification, gene editing is also related to ethics. Okay, there's various debates on gene editing, gene, okay, genome, and also CRISPR technology. Okay, so basically this topic is related to geography, and also you can say polity, governance, and ethics. So what is the consent, or also sorry, context? If you will talk about the context, so basically recently a document, okay, entitled Indian Agriculture Ripe for Disruption was released by Bain and Company. That means Bain and Company release a report. Okay, release a report. What is the name of report? Indian Agriculture Ripe for Disruption. Indian Agriculture Ripe for okay, disruption. So we should discuss about the you can say key important points of the report, and also you can say key what key takeaway of the report, and highlights, okay, highlight points of the report. So basically, friends, Bain and Company report predicts, okay, you will have to keep in the mind, predicts database condition for agri-business. Okay, database condition for agri-business. Okay, please keep in the mind. And friends, also, you can say it includes identifying the production of other proteins and okay, food-based ingredients, and initiating marine farming. Okay, initiating marine farming. And friends, the agriculture sector currently valued at $370 billion. Okay, that means the agriculture sector is estimated to receive another $35 billion investment. And you'll have to keep in the mind the two conditions that allow such a okay, investment opportunities are these. First, changes to the regulatory framework, especially recent changes to the Farm Act. Okay, and digital disruption through the government's idea program, that basically India's digital ecosystem for agriculture. Okay, digital, you will have to keep in the mind the idea program, that means India's digital ecosystem for agriculture. Okay, please keep in the mind. And friends, it will talk about the idea concept. Okay, so basically I should discuss about the idea concept. What is the idea concept? Idea means not a telephone company. Okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind idea stands for India Digital Ecosystem for Agriculture. So farming and improving the livelihoods of farmer is the goal of the idea concept, and it is proposed to be achieved, okay, through a strong integration of agriculture technological innovation and the agriculture industry environment into agriculture and food system. Agriculture and food system. And friends, we'll talk about the principle of idea, that means the idea program. So basically, the idea principle speaks openly about openness of data. That means openness to businesses and farmers, indicating integration. And the new services added by the agriculture and startup industries are an integral part of the idea formation. Okay, idea formation. Please keep in the mind. Okay. And friends, I told you about the idea program, and the Indian agriculture sector in the future will put the farm on the fork and open the way to a single national market with a national speaker with better communication between producer and consumer. Okay, between producer and consumer. And according to report, also you can say the report satisfactorily reflects the business opportunity available in the supply chain between the farm and the agriculture production market and the customer, and which can be achieved with the support of digital disruption and the latest agricultural reforms. So basically, okay, we have discussed about the ENAM in any previous classes. So ENAM, agricultural, national agriculture market, okay. So you'll have to keep in the mind that the government wants to integrate the Indian agriculture markets, okay. And friends, according to the report, to benefit from the huge investment in agriculture system, okay, and doubles the farmer, okay, doubles the farmer incomes, and also you can say doubles the farmer wage, okay, wage targets could be achieved in the near future, okay, could be achieved in the future, you can say near future. So basically, you'll have to keep in the mind these are the key important points of the report. Okay, report released by Bain and Company, and the report was Indian agriculture ripe for disruption. Okay, we have discussed about the idea program. Basically, we have discussed about the Indian digital ecosystem for agriculture program. So we should also discuss about the purpose of idea program. So basically, friends, purpose is enabling the farmer, okay, you will have to keep in the mind, enabling the farmer to get higher profits and better profits by getting the right information at the right time and with the new services, So basically, okay, Indian government is doing very good, okay, you can say key work in the sector of agriculture reforms, and also you can say key in a sector of government in sector of agriculture initiative, and also you can say initiative for doubling the income of farmers. So basically, government introduced a new TV channel, okay, DD Krishi, you'll have to keep in the mind. Then also government launched a new website, okay, new schemes. So you have to keep in the mind. So idea of the, you can say purpose of the idea program is enabling the farmers to get higher profits, okay, and profits by right information, right time, and with new services, and enabling better planning and implementation of central government and government policy programs, and as well as private company and agriculture producer organization. Basically, purpose of idea program is cooperation between central government, state government, cooperation between local, you can say departments, okay, cooperation between you can say farmer producer organization, okay. And the next purpose is improving the efficiency of resources, includes land, water, seeds, fertilizer, pesticides, farming equipment, by providing easy access to information. So Indian government took various initiatives, okay, you can say the solar projects related, and also different solar grid. Okay, then Kusum Yojana. Okay, then Kusum Yojana, neem coating urea. Okay, so these you can say these are the steps which was taken by the Indian government in the sector of improving the efficiency of resources. Okay, then also there is a Suksham, you can say irrigation yojana. Okay, drip irrigation, micro irrigation. Okay, and then next purpose is capacity building in all forms of digital agriculture and agriculture accuracy. That means the capacity building of farmers. Okay, that means the government wants to educate farmer. Okay, government wants the farmers should participate. Okay, with government, with the you can say government policy. And government also, that means the purpose of idea program is also the complete research, okay, and innovation in agriculture sector with high quality data access. For example, okay, you can say the insurance company using you can say the photo, okay, which was taken by smart mobile. Then also we can say the insurance companies using data. Okay, please keep in the mind. Then adopting the best principle of cooperation, okay, when working with territories and territories or union to achieve the ideas mission. That means the same point, cooperation between you can say the organization, between department, between government. Okay, and then creating and building PPP, that is the public private partnership frameworks for recognizing digital power. That means you can say the contribution from government and also contribution from private sector, Okay, so we have discussed about the purpose of the idea program. Now let's discuss about the challenges. Okay, what is the challenges related to, you can say, key data revolution in agriculture? Challenges ahead of data revolution in Indian agriculture. So basically the challenges is, friend, the IT sector is opposed, okay, to IDA mainly due to the practice of making a unique farmer ID based on a person Aadhaar number and the potential for data misuse. That means the first challenge is related to misuse of data. Okay, and the second is there's a common perception that large investment in the agriculture sector will benefit farmers, but how was not satisfactory answer in this report. Okay, in this report, that means there, okay, it's a chance of increasing, okay, the profit of, you can say, investor, not of farmer. Okay, and the next challenge is most small and underprivileged farmers are less educated and less experienced in technology. And however, the capacity building of farmer is being ignored amidst these changes of prominence. Basically, many farmers of India, okay, you can say more than 80% farmers of India do not know, okay, they how can use a smart mobile. They don't know about the satellite. They don't know about the taking the picture. They do not know about the selfie. Okay, so that is the how you can say farmer will be familiar with the usage of technology. This is also a challenge ahead of government, and also you can say ahead of revolution of data in agriculture sector. And friends, the farmers' protest against the reforms could serve, okay, as a barrier or a danger that led to the removal of these new farm rules. Okay, these new farm rules. Basically, there is an agitation from you can say farmer on the new 3 farmers law. We have discussed sufficient points related to farmers movement. Okay, and also we have discussed about the new farms law in any previous classes. Okay, so basically from you can say new agitation, new also you can say movement can be dangerous for Indian government. That means the government will, okay, take also you can say government will not take a step related to reforms in agriculture sector. Okay, so you will have to keep in the mind. That means you can say agitation movement is also a challenge, okay, for the you can say data revolution in Indian agriculture sector. Now, friends, let's talk about the you can say what should be the way of forward. Okay, what should be the way of forward? So let's talk about the way of forward according to me. Friends, while we agree with the fact that data transformation is inevitable, okay, in the agriculture sector, and given its social and political complexity, and we cannot, okay, really, so you can say rely on slowly on technological reforms and agriculture enterprises to improve the lives of farmer. So we should, okay, you can say find the new way. Also, you can say technology should be based on the India's environment, based on the India's education, because many farmers, also you can say more than of 80% of farmers, they don't know to using of, also you can say they don't know anything about smartphone. Basically, they don't know how to make a call. Okay, and there need to be a, okay, you can say a concerted effort to improve the skills of farmers. And how? By establishing support programs through farmers producer organization and others farmers organization. And given the size of the agriculture sector in the country, this will not be an easy task, but it will, okay, also you can say it require a different system across the country with more investment, okay. So we have discussed, you can say, way of forward. Now let's talk about the conclusion parts of this topic, okay. That means you can say, and the topic data revolution in Indian agriculture sector. Basically, friends, the adoption of a comprehensive natural approach to addressing the many challenges facing with the agriculture sector is of permanent importance nationally, and achieving aspirations such as doubling farmers' income and achieving the sustainable development goals. The multi-stakeholder approach is important when the government is playing the role of environmental activist. Okay, basically there should be a participation from farmers, participation from administrators, participation from leaders. There should be a new program. Okay, there should be a skill reorientation of our farmers. Okay, and also there should be also you can say new schemes which can educate our farmers. Okay, please keep in the mind. So basically, friends, we have discussed the topics related to, okay, data revolution in Indian agriculture. Do you have any doubt? If you have any doubt, please raise your hand. And if everything is clear, okay, please comment yes. Friends, please comment. Or doubt, okay, if you have doubt, please raise your hand. Please ask your doubt. Please try to participate. If you know, okay, if you will not participate, then how can I know you have doubts? How can I know you understand of this topic or not? So please, okay, participate, please comment, please raise your hand. Okay. Yeah, Manoj.
In which state the mainly the data revolution or the IT sector mainly in Indian agriculture is prominent in which states of India?
So basically in western states, okay, in Maharashtra, then also in Gujarat, and few states of, you can say, southern India, and the state is, okay, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Now Karnataka government is also taking a steps, okay, related to data revolution in agriculture sector. And if you talk about the Northeast India, so basically Sikkim is the only state, and also you can say Sikkim is the first organic state of India. So that means the Sikkim government took various decisions related to revolution in agriculture, yeah, data revolution in agriculture sector. So these are the states, okay, you can say they taken various steps related to data revolution and also you can say usage of science in agriculture sector. Clear, Manoj?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's discuss about a new topic, and the new topic is geopolitics of our space. Okay, geopolitics of outer space, not outer space. Sorry. So first of all, friends, let's discuss that this topic is related to science and technology. Okay, and also it is important for international relation because geopolitics is a word which is related to international relation. And friends, let's discuss about the context. So it is in the interest of India's new strategy in outer space and also about the urgency of adopting a new rules for the road of peace. Okay, also you can say road to peace and stability in the atmosphere. So there's a topic, or also you can say one term is very, very important, space geo strategy. So what is space geo strategy? Basically, friends, the US, that means the America, traditionally held a foreign, okay, also you can say held a foreign position in the commercial sector, and its military rivalry with Russia set a precedent in the security sector. And after America and Russia, the emergence of China as a major space force, okay, both socially and militarily, reshapes astropolitics. That means the emergence of China, there were changes. Okay, also you can say ki astropolitics. Okay, also you can say ki geo. Okay, space outer geo strategy has changed, and significant expansion of China's capabilities and China's desire for foreign domination has provided a new urgency for democratic powers to come together to protect their national interest and promote sustainable order in the upper atmosphere. That means ki India, thought that ki India, also you can say India has also can say India has danger, danger from, and also you can say China is a threat for India in outer atmosphere because China can destroy our satellite, China can attack on our military satellite, then also they can hack it. So basically, Indian government thought we should create a new policy, new drafting rules. So please keep in the mind. So what is the importance for India? That is, what is the importance of space geo strategy for India, and what is the importance of space or outer space for India? So if we talk about the importance, so first of all, friends, you can see here, space has emerged as the fourth possible arm of the country's defense. Fourth possible arm. Basically, there is air, then you'll have to keep in the mind, Navy, and then also you can say land army. So these are also you can say possible arm. Then after that, space. Space has emerged as the fourth possible arm of the country's defense, and India will need to properly equip to deal with emerging security challenge. That means India will have to take a new step to emergence as the leader in space. Please keep in the mind. And space power has the power to use space while denying reliable use to any enemy. Reliable use to any enemy. And India already has a significant ability to use space. How? India, you can say sent our Mangal mission, also you can say only in one chance, within one chance, Then after that, ISRO's various missions, then India's IR, NSS, and also you can say Navik satellite, which is same as GPS, So you'll have to keep in the mind. And friends, speaking of satellite, India has active satellite, military satellites compared to more than 40 civilians. And our first military satellite was launched in 2013. First military satellite was launched in 2013. But friends, India has made some progress in the pursuit of space power. Okay, space power. So basically, Indian okay government, and also you can say India newly commissioned mission Shakti demonstrated India's ability to identify enemy satellite. Okay, enemy satellite. Okay, please keep in the mind. And friends, the newly formed DSA Space Defense Agency will be supported by the Defense Space Research Organization with a mandate to develop weapons to degrade, disrupt, destroy, defraud, and opponents space. So basically, these are the importance for India. So you have to keep in the mind. So which issue is associated with the outer space geopolitics? We should discuss about the issues, associated with the outer space geopolitics. So let's discuss about the issues which is associated, which is related with the outdoor space geopolitics. So first issue is friend, space naming. Okay, first issue is space naming. Basically, the war and the equipping of space are in a stark contrast to the constructive commercial and scientific projects, and space warfare will undermine the internal trust and cooperation needed to maintain systems deployed in space for the purpose of peace. And despite these realities, military development and space warfare project in the air have been on the rise of, for the purpose of one country. And friends, there is also one important thing is atmospheric disposal. Okay, what is this? So basically, satellite destroyed. Okay, satellites dispersed into smaller pieces and then add to space debris. And freeway, floating debris is a potential hazard to active satellites, and collision with them, can leave satellite inactive. And as countries introduce more and more satellite, each of which is a strategic or commercial asset, avoiding collision could be a challenge in the future. Then second, you can say issues is demand for space mines. Demand for space mines. So this demand for space mines will create a new era of conflict and cooperation and lead to a new space race. And according to US Chamber of Commerce, the trade space industry is estimated to be 1.5 trillion US dollar by 2040. 1.5 trillion dollar. You'll have to keep in the mind by 2040. According to US Chamber of Commerce. And there is a moon rush. You have to keep in the mind what is moon rush. After the discovery of the water on the moon and the peaks of eternal light, the moon is moving faster towards southern moon, and it is a new phenomenon. For example, China's Chang'e 4 has softened down the Von Karman crater on the dark side of the southern polar region of moon. The American lunar system now aims to bring man back to the moon for the next 10 years. And NASA focuses on the southern poles, and if successful, will be the first personnel to the to reach the South Pole. Then Jeff Bezos, Jeff Bezos is owner of Amazon, has launched a blue moon project that seeks to house men and women on the moon over the next few years. And friends, atmospheric awareness involves monitoring the movement of all objects, that means natural, that means meteoroid and man-made satellite, and tracking the weather. And today space is important in our lives, and disruption to space-based communication and worldviews will have negative consequences. And there is friend special awareness. And special awareness, that means if there are cannot thousands of objects in Earth orbit, and that could be harmful to satellite and presentation. And special awareness refers to keeping track of things in their path and predicting where they will be at any given time. So we will discuss the issue. Basically, three, okay, also you can say the top issue is associated with the outer space geopolitics, space mapping, demand for space mines, moon rush, then special awareness. Okay. So now, what is the possibility of India's, okay, related to outer space destiny? Okay, please keep in the mind. Possibility of India's outer space destiny. Basically, friend, India, which has developed, okay, significant skills, and also you can say skills for decades, it's a highly invested group. And the America realizes it can no longer, okay, unilaterally define space order and seek partner. And the India-US joint statement issued in Washington, okay, Washington highlighted the graduation, okay, plans, a space memorandum of understanding that will assist in the sharing of information and services in ensuring the long-term sustainability of space operation by the end of the year. Okay, that means the America realized that there is, you can say, various country who can, okay, become a leader in space sector and outer space. So after that, when America realized, okay, after that, America took initiative. America, okay, you can say, talk to India with related to space cooperation. Okay, please keep in the mind. And friends, international cooperation on climate awareness is similar to Maritime Awareness Agreement. Okay, Maritime Awareness Agreement, please keep in the mind, and which allow for the distribution of information across maritime matrix, across maritime countries. And the new space mission, okay, team set up by Quad. Quad means we have discussed. Quad means America, Japan, India, or Australia. Okay, so the new space mission team set up by Quad will identify new opportunity for collaboration and share satellite information for peaceful purpose, such as monitoring climate, disaster preparedness, and sustainable use of sea and marine resources, and addressing shared domain challenges. And Quad leader also promised to consult on the rules, procedure, guidelines for ensuring the sustainable use of space, sustainable use of space. So basically, these are the possibility for India's outer space. Okay, these are the, you can say, India's outer space destiny. So that means the cooperation between India, America, then cooperation between, you can say, Quad country. Okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind. So now let's talk about the way of forward. What should be the way of forward related to this topic? Basically, friend, there should be public-private partnership. Okay, so India needs, you can say, to structurally regulate the regulatory, commercial, and scientific aspects of space program. Then India should funding for space research and development, and it should be expanded. And independent research institute should be encouraged to work together. And friends, there is also need to establish an independent regulator to control ISRO and new border operation in the same field. And according to me, there is also need for a strong regulatory framework. Okay, that's the government of India, and we can say Delhi must also enact a strong regulatory framework to promote India's local work and protect its international interest. And India should take into account the challenges that arises in the current space order, then review some of its past political ideas about the external environment, and participate in the development of new global system, and that will strengthen the context of the space agreement. Okay, so we have discussed about the topics related to geopolitics of outer space. Do you have any doubt? Please ask. Okay, and is it clear? Please comment yes, why. Any doubt?
The space mines, sir, can you please again explain the space mines?
Okay, space means कि man will visit to, you can say, moon, on the moon by using satellite. For example, na our mission Gaganyaan, okay, that means कि there will be 4 to 8 men who will go to the, you can say, in the sky, in the universe, and after that they will examine the, you can say, कि condition. They will you can say find the new things. So basically, for example, Rakesh Sharma, who was astronaut, so Rakesh Sharma was the first Indian astronaut. You'll have to keep in the mind, who visited the space, that means the universe. So basically, by using the satellite, man will go to the universe, man will go to the moon, man will arrive on the moon surface. So you'll have to keep in the mind. Neil Armstrong was the first person who you can say reached the moon. You'll have to keep in the mind. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Sir, name of the first satellite, first military satellite name, which was launched in 2013. First military satellite name.
Okay. So first military satellite of India, which was launched in 2000. Please mute yourself, So first satellite was GSAT-7, GSAT-7.
Sir,
Clear?
yes, sir.
Okay, so I told you first military satellite which was launched in 2013 was GSAT-7. So now let's talk about the new topic. And the topic is related to, please keep in the mind, prelims. So let's discuss with the not new topic, and the new topic is related to Nobel Prize for Literature. Basically, friend, I will try to cover Nobel Award in one classes. Basically Nobel Award in physics, chemistry, biology. So who got the award, then for which concept, that means we will discuss how, what, why, everything related to Nobel Award. So let's discuss about the Nobel Prize for Literature, Nobel Award for Literature. So context is, friend, Abdul Razak Gurnah. Abdul Razak Gurnah, please keep in the mind. Abdul Razak Gurnah become the 5th American writer to win the Nobel Prize for Literature on 7th October 2021. Who? Abdul Razak Gurnah is the 5th writer. Please keep in the mind. And 5th American writer, African writer, sorry. 5th African writer. 5th African writer. And who won the Nobel Prize for Literature on 7th October 2021. So what is the key highlights? So let's discuss. Friends, Abdul Razak Gurnah was awarded for his contribution contribution in a non-judgmental sympathy for the effects of colonialism and the fate of the fugitive in the gap between cultures and continents, and it was taken from his novel famous, The Premise of Paradise. The Premise of Paradise. It was taken from his novel famous, The Premise of Paradise, 1994. 1994. And in 1994, friends, Abdul Razak Gurnah won Booker Prize for his fiction Paradise. For his fiction Paradise. And friends, also, if you will talk about, you can say the Nobel, also you can say Abdul Razak Nobel. So it examines the fate of young African Arabs, enlisted for the German occupation in First World War I. First World War. And friends, sum up, his famous writing, that means the sum of Abdul Razak famous writing. And also you can say, what is the sum of famous writing? I will tell you. And friends, Abdul Razak Gurnah writing explored the immigrant experience and how exile and loss shape identities and culture. So first famous writing is friend, Memory of Departure, 1987, Pilgrimsville Way, 1988, Paradise, 1994, By the Sea, 2001, Resurgence, 2005, Gravel Herd, 2017, Afterlives, 2020. Afterlives, 2020. And friends, Abdul Gunda books contain African characters who are trying to embrace segregation and looking at societies and culture. And Abdul Razak Gurnah work draws attention to the extent to which prejudice and discrimination against communities and religious perpetuate oppressive culture. And I told you in 1994 he won the Booker's Prize for his fiction Paradise, and in 2001, Abdul Razak Gurnah awarded the Los Angeles Times Book Prize for Desertion and By the Sea. Okay. So these are the important facts related to Abdul Razak Gurnah. And Abdul Razak Gurnah, on the Nobel Prize for Literature on 7th October 2021. Okay, please keep in the mind. And so you'll have to keep in the mind, about Abdul, Razak Gurnah. Basically, Abdul Razak Gurnah talk about the condition African during colonialism. Basically his writing was mainly focused on, or also you can say it's mainly focused on imperialism and colonialism. Now let's talk about a new topic, and the new topic is Pradhan Mantri. That means the Prime Minister is tributes to Shyamji Krishna Verma. And this topic is related to history. So context, I told you recently about Prime Minister paid tribute to freedom fighter Shyamji Krishna Verma on his 164th anniversary. 164th birth anniversary. And friends, who was Shyamji Krishna Verma? So basically, he was born in 1857 in Gujarat. So do you know about 1857 revolt? About 1857. Part of India, first independence fight. So basically, Shyamji Krishna Verma was born in 1857 in Gujarat, and he was an Indian freedom fighter, lawyer, and journalist. Journalist. And Shyamji Krishna Verma, was an admirer to Anand Saraswati, and because of that, he was president of Bombay. Should move to, you can say, also you can say the answer person who use the term and for the whole which always must you have to keep in mind. And also he wrote some class. So after you and he became the first president of Bombay March and on 30th March 1930. 30th March 1930. And Shyamji Krishna Verma founded various organization. So let's discuss the major organization. Founded by Shyamji Krishna Verma. So first, Indian Home Rule Society. And the Indian Home Rule Society was founded by Shyamji Krishna Verma with support from Vikaji Kama, Dadabhai Naoroji, and S.R. Rana in London, 1905. In London, in London, 1905. And with the help of Vikaji Kama, Dadabhai Naoroji, S.R. Rana. And Indian Home Rule Society was an organization that promoted the cause of self-rule in British India. Self-rule in British India. And the second organization was Indian House. Second organization was Indian House. And it was an student residence that existed from 1905 and 1910, which was open to promote nationalist views among Indian students in Britain. And Shyamji, okay, Krishna Verma inspired Veer Savarkar, who was a member of Indian House in London. Okay, please keep in the mind. Indian House, also in London, it was the center of a student. Okay, please keep in the mind. And then also he founded Indian Sociologist. So Indian Sociologist in London became an outlet for nationalist idea. So basically, three major organizations founded by Shyamji Krishna Burma in London. Okay, in London. So these are the most important facts about the Shyamji Krishna. We have discussed that the Pradhan Mantri pays tributes to Shyamji Krishna Burma. Now let's discuss next topic, and the next topic is State of the Education Report for India 2021. The topic is related to quality and governance, and the context is on the occasion of World Teacher Day, that is the 5th October. Okay, in India, Teachers Day is 5th September, and World Teacher Day is 5th October. So on the occasion of World Teachers Day, State of the Education Report, okay, State of the Education Report of India, no teachers, no class, okay, of India, no teacher, no class, okay, no teacher, no class, has been released by UNESCO, and this report is published annually, and this is the third edition published by UNESCO. So published by key points related to the report, that is the State of